Factor investigation segment tonight, an appalling situation at the University of Oregon. Factor has learned that the taxpayer-funded university is overwhelmingly run by liberal Democrats. According to voter registration forms, out of 186 professors of political science, law, economics, journalism, and sociology, 115 are Democrats, and ready, 8 are Republicans. 8 out of 186. That kind of political tilt should be unacceptable to a state-run university. So, we sent Factor producer Dan Bank to speak to the University of Oregon Provost James Bean.
Do you feel this is a fair educational system paid for by the taxpayers?
I don't know that that's true.
Well, we went through the records and we found that's true. You have a responsibility to the taxpayers to answer these questions. You know, a university that respects diversity, values diversity of opinion, and that's not what the University of Oregon is doing right now. And you are a campus leader, sir. Your voice should be heard.
Thank you. No comment.
Sir, no comment?
Obviously not. Joining us from San Francisco, radio talk show host Thom Hartmann, author of the book Threshold, The Crisis of Western Culture. And from Portland, Oregon, Lars, Larson, syndicated radio talk show host. So there's no doubt it's coming. It's happening at the University of Oregon. And, you know, the provost obviously doesn't know, or says he doesn't know. I can't believe he doesn't know it. How could this happen, Lars?
I think it could happen because there's a bias in favor of liberal points of view on campuses that are run by government. These are government-run institutions. That's one reason. Another reason to suggest is an awful lot of those who know how to do things actually go out into the public sector and into the private sector and do things rather than staying in liberal institutions like universities and
Oregon,
teaching about them only.
Outside of Portland, Multnomah County, where you are, Oregon's a fairly traditional state. And to have just 8 Republicans out of 186, I mean, that's indoctrination, Lars, and the taxpayers should be outraged about it. They're funding the school.
They should be, but remember, there's a reason they call it the People's Republic of Lane County, where Eugene and the University of Oregon are. It's a very liberal community, and even in the outlying areas, an awful lot of outlying communities in rural Oregon and rural America have become, the biggest employer there is government. They're all so dependent on government because the biggest institutions are schools and hospitals and government agencies. So there's a bias in favor of that.
All right, what say you, Mr. Hartmann?
Well, first of all, when young people are asked, you know, of college age, what kind of professions they're thinking of and looking at, education is often very high for liberals, business is often very high for conservatives. So I'm guessing that there's a self-selection process here, because we see this at most universities have
not like
mostly
this.
liberal professors.
Not like this. Come on.
Well, perhaps not.
That's a plush
probably not
job.
like this, but probably close.
That's a plush job out there. Teaching at the University of Oregon is a job that I think many academics would like to have. It looks to me, it can't be random. It can't be. It's just too tilted. It's got to be, look, I went to the Kennedy School at Harvard. When I was there, it was fairly balanced. Now it's not, okay? And it was an active recruitment of the left up there at that school. And it's got to be going on at the University of Oregon. It's got to be.
Bill, here's the thing.
Well, it's not
Universities talk a lot about diversity, but what they mean there is skin color or where you came from or who you sleep with. What they should be concerned about, because they are marketplaces of ideas where new ideas are generated and written about, they should be interested in intellectual and political diversity, and they're not.
Thom, this is a scandal. You live in Portland, Oregon, too, even though you're working in San Francisco.
Sure.
This is a scandal. Yeah. This isn't fair to any college student going to the University of Oregon. I mean, it's just not fair.
So I'm hearing Republicans asking for affirmative action?
Well, I'm hearing I want the best qualified candidates. And if this is the case, then you're saying that Republican professors are stupid and the Democrats are smarter. That's insane.
No,
that's not true.
I'm actually, at a certain level, I'm agreeing with Lars. I'm saying that people who are progressive or liberal tend to really like the idea of becoming college professors.
You're telling
and people
me
who are conservative are more interested in going into the world of business.
You can't be. You can't say that Republican professors wouldn't like this job. It's just not true. I mean, this is a plush.
I'm not sure there are that many Republican professors, Bill.
They pay very well.
There's a study published in Political Science. There's a great study that was published just a few months ago in Political Science that says at UCLA that found over a 4-year period from 1999 to 2003, they looked at the political affiliation of students during that 4-year time who were going to classes that were mostly taught by liberal professors, and their political affiliation didn't change much. It didn't change.
In the country, there are twice as
variable.
many conservative individuals as liberal in the country, okay? That's what it is. And I think it breaks down in academia the same way. It's just that they're being shut out at the University of Oregon. Lars, I'll give you the last word.
They are. And Bill, by the way, Dr. John Lott, people like that, economics professor, very strong on guns and very strong conservative point of view, can't find an academic home or has had a tough time doing it because academic institutions don't want him there because they don't like his point of view.
All right, gentlemen, thanks very much. We appreciate it. We come right back. Culture Warriors on the City of Amsterdam.